Seeing a pull plan for the first time can be confusing and intimidating. If you weren't at the meeting when it was originally created, you may have no idea what you're looking at, and alarmingly, there is probably something on that pull plan that you're responsible for doing. So, if these are meant to be collaborative and then usable plans, let's take a look at how to read one, some common traits of a pull plan, and some places where you can add some complexity. Now, to start off, just putting some post-its on the wall isn't a pull plan. There's a structure to how one's set up, how it's created and read. Each time a pull plan is created, there's a certain scope that's being planned between design or construction milestones. Most critical path method or CPM scheduling softwares used diamonds as milestones, and so you'll often see post-its turned 45 degrees to represent these milestones. We'll add M for milestone. It's also important to know that there might be other milestones between the two you've chosen, sometimes called planning markers, superintendent's milestones, or mini milestones that can act as guideposts for your planning session. By looking at this, we can read that this plan in front of us encapsulates the work between these two milestones. But there's also a few milestones in between. It does not show work before or after or outside these two milestones. Understand that a milestone has no duration itself. It might have a hard, immutable date, and those dates should be shown and advertised. Some milestones might just be conditions for the completion or start of work, lines in the sand to help the planners know if their individual work activities belong before or after it. And be sure that milestones are clear if they're finish or start. If they aren't, ask and confirm the assumptions and the conditions of satisfaction for each of them. And be wary of having finish and start milestones for each phase of work. Typically, the start of a milestone could be seen as another's finish. So don't double up on milestones if you can avoid it. That might be a good place to combine two milestones into one. So when reading a pull plan, it's all about sequence. This happens after that, and that happens before this. There really should be no scale since there shouldn't be many dates on the plan. It's a pull plan and not a pull schedule. Scheduling is day by day. So a move from here to there doesn't necessarily mean that we lost a week or a month at this point. It just means we want to make sure we have enough room for all the work activities that have to fit between those milestones. And speaking of activities, every entity who has work that helps release or complete a milestone should have their own tag color. This includes trade contractors, designers, the general contractor, and even the owner. And it's good to have a color key that's easily accessible and on the wall so everyone knows what color they are. And each activity tag or post-it should be written by the responsible party, saying something that that company is doing for the project to help get us to the upcoming milestone. As an example, here's a typical tag format. The main area is for the activity itself, what someone is doing, building, deciding, approving, inspecting, etc. It should have a noun and a verb: pour concrete, approve plans, run conduit, finalize lobby design. And they should be written so anyone can understand what's happening with that tag. And right underneath, the responsible party also notifies everyone what they need to start that activity, their predecessor or their trigger. They are in effect saying, I can't start this activity until this predecessor is completed. Or otherwise, when this finishes on Monday, I can start this activity on Tuesday. Underneath is an area for constraints, which aren't the predecessor, but other open issues that will affect the start of the activity. So things like long lead times, decisions, reports, approvals, specific weather conditions, etc. Then there's a place for working days, and working days should be how long that activity takes when the predecessor and constraints are completed. We want this duration to represent how long the activity takes when the work is ready to be performed. If it's not, or needs to be negotiated in any way, it should be noted so. And lastly, crew size. How many people will be performing this activity? This allows the team to know if they're properly staffed to support the work. So to summarize, each activity tag should be read as this: This many people will be performing this task once these items are completed for this amount of days. And it's always good practice to have a large tag format posted on the wall somewhere to ensure consistency in reading and writing tags. Like with the milestones, activities should be placed in sequence with each other and the milestones. Left or right shows before or after sequence, and stacked vertically shows concurrency. That's how a basic pull plan should be read. However, most work is much more complicated than that. There might be multiple buildings or floors or phases of work, areas of work, design work, and construction work happening at the same time that you need a plan. This is where adding complexity with swim lanes can help you visualize the plan. A swim lane allows you to separate tags into different horizontal areas that show concurrent paths, especially if work from multiple swim lanes share the same milestone, or when something from one swim lane releases work in another swim lane. This is your opportunity to gut check your assumptions in the schedule and test any what ifs with the path of construction or with handoffs. Some project teams want to use swim lanes for each company, but this should be avoided. Each color already tells you who's doing what, and the team misses out on showing handoffs of work from one company to the next. And lastly, some final considerations for a pull plan to make it more readable. After creating it, make sure it's got a title that's easily read across the room. And be sure that if anything is missing or unanswered from the meeting that created the pull plan, those things are written on the plan to ensure they're added or answered later. This should be a living document that everyone feels comfortable interacting with, updating, and understanding. To that end, a pull plan is best used when it's posted in a common area for people to look at and review in update meetings and to plan any impromptu work that needs immediate problem solving. It does no good being rolled up in the corner of the PM or the superintendent's office.